So I'm basically going to let you guys know, well, to tell you guys about my journey from being a PWS to PWSS. It's actually a short speech. It's not structured because I actually love to speak spontaneously. So I don't really structure much. I just speak from my heart, and I try to keep it positive. Okay, guys, so I'm going to start. I began stuttering at the age of 4, at the tender age of 4, and stuttering was truly a taunt to me at that age. My parents told me that I had a friend that stutter, and I interacted with him constantly because I had one friend, and because he stuttered, they speculated that that's the reason I started, because I don't know if that's true. It's just a speculation, guys, right? But at that time, starting stuttering at the age of 4, I was bullied. I was made fun of in school, and it truly hurt because at that young age, you truly would like to interact with friends, to play with friends, but I really did not have that confidence to do it, to even say a funny joke, to even interact in class because I had that fear. I had that fear of speaking. So I told my parents, I said, Mom, Dad, I'm bullied a lot in school. Children make fun of me in school. They laugh at me in school because of my speech. What should I do? And they immediately seeked help. My parents are very supportive and they seek help, but we got one response. Trinidad is very small. There are not much therapists. Now we have the opportunity for online therapy and, of course, SAC, right? So at that time, we did not have much opportunities, and we got one response, guys, is that there are no cure for stuttering, and I have to live with stuttering. And it was honestly depressing because you have a problem and it's devastating. You don't have the confidence to see what you truly want to. And the only response you get is that you have to live with this. There are no cures for this, you know? So I lived with it. I was depressed with fear, and I lived with it until, say, tertiary education when I started school, my education. And at that age, I had to speak a lot more. So I attempted to defeat it on my own at that age. I said, okay, I'm going to look for some cures. I'm going to try to create some techniques where I can actually stop stuttering. So by creating my techniques, I actually use, like, say, slower speech. Sometimes I tried faster speech. Sometimes I tried breathing patterns, speaking slowly. But guys, truly, it did help. To be honest, it did help at times. But I always had blocks. I always had blocks, and it truly was. I was horrified because I was like, no, there's really no way I can stop and have fluent speech. Guys. So I was really confused, and then I left school. I started working, as I said prior. I started working at the age of 18. My first job was a client support officer. So that job actually entails me to speak a lot. My job, I stayed in office, I interacted with clients, I answered phones every single second, like constant phone calls, and it was horrifying. But in Trinidad, you really do need a job, like to sustain yourself. You need to work, and I had no choice. It was horrifying, it was terrifying, but I had to. So guys, one thing, I said, okay, no, this really have to stop. And what made it worse, my worst day, my darkest day, was when I was in my office answering phone calls, and my manager, she came in and she said, Rondel, you have to do public speaking. I was like, what? Public speaking? The room, literally, the room got dark. I started seeing dark. At that point, I was depressed. I was like, should I come to work tomorrow? Should I continue working? Because it's like my biggest fear. I have to now go do it. Public speaking. I did not have that confidence. I didn't have that confidence to do public speaking. So I said, no, I need to find something that will help me. So I do a lot of reading. So I have a Kindle book, and I actually search like stuttering cures, stuttering books. So I scrolled through, I found Lee's book, and I said, okay, I went through the reviews, and I said, oh, this actually looks good. And he actually offers Skype where we can interact. So I was like, this is perfect. So I downloaded the book. I read the book twice actually, and I learned the techniques, the crutches. And I started using the crutches while interacting with clients, while interacting with my parents. But I honestly, at times, I sometimes I spoke too fast, sometimes I forgot to use the crutches, and I honestly didn't know how to apply them properly at that point. So then I realized to myself that I needed further assistance. So I reached out to Lee, and he passed me on to Pratusha, who has been very helpful, I must say. We Skyped a few times. I think it was like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and it was amazing. One thing I love about the session is that it's very interactive, of course, because we speak, but it's actually like not training. We're generally just speaking. And sometimes we speak, and sometimes we speak of random stuff, Diwali, festivals in Trinidad, in India, and it's actually really fun. And while having fun, I actually grew confidence. I learned to speak. I learned how to apply those crutches. And it was truly an amazing experience. Right, guys? And now I'm actually much more confident in speaking. I truly believe that I can go on any stage, any platform, and speak properly. As I said, I learned to actually use, well, not master one crutch better than one, but I actually have my preferred crutches, which would be like King's Speech. Now I'm actually doing like voice modulation a bit better. But my go-to crutch is sometimes extreme pronunciation and King's Speech. So once I'm on a stage, guys, which I do all the time, public speaking, I did not fear and run away. I went to work that day after. I didn't want to, but I did. But I always use King's Speech now. And guys, if you look, like some of the best speakers in the world use King's Speech. Like they will go on a platform, and there's honestly no rush. Like why rush? They will stand on that stage, and like the president now, Joe Biden, he will stand, and there's honestly no rush. He will speak. He will take his time, and he honestly, I see it sometimes. It's King's Speech. So why do we fear? Why do we fear to use these crutches? As Lee said, it's temporary, right? We just have to use that crutch now. Eventually, while speaking fluently, these crutches will automatically go, and then you will not have to think of these crutches. Yeah. So, guys, as I said, my speech is really not long. It's just honestly, it was titled "Thank You, Coach," which would be obviously Lee and Pratusha, who has been amazing through my journey from PWS to PWSS. And one thing I truly want to say, well, I actually got the opportunity, like before I searched Lee book also, I spoke to my parents about therapy, and I was like, can therapy truly help? Yes, they will tell me about slowing my speech, which I tried. They will tell me about probably breathing techniques, which I also tried. But getting the opportunity, guys, to be coached by someone who stuttered previously is really glorious. Like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I really urge you guys to, well, I personally admire the SSC organization, because it's actually the only platform where an ex-stutterer actually coaches you. And it was a fabulous opportunity. It was great. And yes, I'm a PWSS now, but I still look forward to speaking to Pratusha, because we have amazing conversations now. It's actually not coaching anymore. We just have conversations. We speak about things we both like. About now, we're celebrating the festival of Diwali, both of us. She's in India, I'm in Trinidad. So we speak of all these things. So it's not really coaching. We just interact. And from that interaction, I learn a lot. And I'm sure Pratusha too, she will learn a lot. So it's honestly thus far been a fabulous opportunity. And I would just like to say thank you, Lee. Thank you, Pratusha. And thank you, everyone.